Sup everyone, JD here. Welcome to another round of pickups. So we actually got a good amount of stuff. We actually got some pretty uncommon stuff. Like nothing, not like and couple grails. Like nothing like crazy. Like nothing like absolute crazy uncommon. Like say 80, 70, $80. But a couple uncommon things and then a couple grails. So let's get to it. But just an FYI, I actually do have a couple things I want to say after I'm done showing all you guys is it is regarding to recent events, but we will more on that later. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with my one 3DO game. Yes, I got a 3DO game. So stored by this. I actually found this. So let me explain what happened. I was in Troy for a few days because I honestly needed a break, and so basically I found this. This was the one of the last things I got on my trip. I was a couple other games. One of them was to resell, and then another one was a game for a system I'll get to in a minute. But I found this for $14. Turns out this is actually a 25 $30 I should make, yeah, 25 $30 game on eBay right now. Last one sold for, and it doesn't sell very often. Last one typically sold for like 23 to 25. So it's around there, and I got it for $14. And it's the same my first it's my first video game. Yeah, it could have been a little better, but at the same time it was like super cheap. I was like, you know what, why not? It's honestly a novelty to me, so might as well get it. And I apologize, I'm butchering this. World Cup Golf, Hyde Orlando Beach. Which the cover doesn't even look like a beach, and it's a golf game, but still got this for a really good deal. So I was like, what the hell? I'll pick it up. So that's my one video. I do have more games, but I want to get into. I actually want to get into VHSs next. So I actually when ever since my VHS shelf has come in. If you did see the Instagram story that I posted, I think a few weeks ago, I was able to get my VHS shelf in. It had arrived safely, so as a result, I've been collecting more. I've been going out the VHSs more frequently. However, I do need more VHSs, but I was able. I needed more VHSs, and I'm okay. What I got to show, there was some stuff I was gonna show earlier, but I didn't get around to it. So, mostly because of obviously recent events, but I actually have enough. I was have enough so I can. I have way more than anticipated, but it's fine. We got so half of these are movies and half of them are Thomas. But we'll get to Thomas, and I want to start with this stack first. And these are like the more cheaper ones. And so we got Forbidden Planet, and I've never seen this movie. This one I have seen the sequel to this movie, but not the original. It's Men in Black. Why I got this? Because it's got Will Smith, but also because I've never seen the original Men in Black because I heard it's a little gross. The sequel was this is just scary. Like, I remember that one. I remember one time seeing that point where a jump scare made that jump scare. I know it's supposed to be a comedy, but at the same time it was very scary. I don't know what was going on. But because switching on Will Smith to Carl Weathers, we got Action Jackson, which I've actually never seen this movie, but I know Carl Weathers is in it, so of course I gotta check it out. Because it's that USB as a weapon and it's really cool. It got one of the worst Ninja Turtles movies ever, if not the worst one, but at the same time it's one I don't see every day. It's Ninja Turtles 3. This is actually the exact same VHS as the Angry Video Game Nerd destroyed. Dude. So I would not destroy this, but at the same time I kind of thought that there wouldn't be a lot of them out there, but just that they are out there. It's just that this movie's not. It's just that straight out terrible. But at the same time, I don't want to curse this every day, so I'm so glad to get this, and hopefully I'll get the first two movies. Now on to some actual good movies. I got three more before we get to the time. I have four more. One of them is actually a more special case, so I'll say that toward the end of this section. But we got Raiders of the Lost Ark, which strangely enough, I actually have not played. I'm actually still looking for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I actually ran across one recently, and I was gonna get it, but unfortunately, it was a little too high from in price for me, unfortunately. But which kind of sucks because this is actually a really amazing film. I know my dad really loves this movie. I know you might not, I might watch it with him some point because I don't watch movies very often anymore. But I'll definitely give this one a watch. It's a good movie, great movie. And of course, two of my favorite movies of all time. We got the original Rocky. Earlier this year I've been talking about this. I actually watched this the original movie this movie franchise this year, and I can definitely say that this one is easily the best. It is like it's such, and I'm glad I did watch it this year again this year. I just think we were watching Creed that got me to watch this film, but it is a movie that I will forever cherish because it's a movie that's a landmark in history, the biggest boxing hit in film, yeah, and of course Sylvester Stallone like it's just absolutely amazing in this. Roxy Balboa being a struggling boxer who obviously originally works as a one-star debt collector, but eventually gets a once in a million lifetime chance. Um, does he win? Well, I kind of don't want to spoil it, but this is one that I'm glad I did watch this year. I know James Rolfe from Angry Video Game Nerd. He loves this movie to death. He talked about this movie to death, and I'm about to talk about it. Now it's my turn to talk about it because it's an amazing film. Well, I do love this movie. My favorite out of the VHSs I picked up, and of course, a movie that needs no introduction. All the strangely, I've actually never talked about it on social media. I love this movie to death, but I'm surprised I've actually never got a chance to talk about. I have never talked about it on here, so I'm very glad that I finally get to talk about it. Now I picked up this movie. I'll say the story about how I got it for another time. I'll just show it to you guys. It's Back to the Future. This is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Every single thing I did regarding like whatever talk like I seen this movie when I was a kid, and this movie the original Back to the Future holds a really special place in my heart because for one I saw this movie when I was a kid. Like I remember one time I actually got this movie confused with another movie. The movie that I got confused with was The Land Before Time, which is also a great movie, but lasted way too long than it should have. But that's story for another time. But Back to the Future, amazing film. One time I actually whined about a movie. I was watching. Why are we watching Land Before Time? Why can't we watch Back to the Future? And now recently I actually did a project about I actually did an oral presentation on Robert Simpkins for my English class. So you guys know I love this movie so much, but I'm going to do an oral presentation on the director of this movie. Like you get to tell that I love this movie so much. So, cause of that, but yeah, you can tell how much I love this movie so much. I'm going to do an oral presentation on the director, but amazing movie. I don't need to say anything else about it, but and I actually want to do a review for this movie on Instagram. You know what I actually might do? I might do it. I'm gonna watch this movie again for a review because it's just so good. I don't need to say anything more. And while mentioning amazing stuff, let's move on. Let's move on to Thomas. and we have six, but we have a lot. And there's actually some Thomas things that I got that are really uncommon. Like some of the Thomas DVHSs are kind of uncommon to begin with, but a couple of them I got are like some probably the more uncommon ones you'll ever find. One of them being like a more re-release, or the other one being a very uncommon one you don't want to cross every day. So starting with the Thomas stuff, we got Trust Thomas, which I trust that this is gonna be a good one. And that's volume 6, by the way. Volume 7, Thomas gets bumped. Stranger, I got this one on one from Vista Comic Comics, but I actually had to go back to get the other ones, which was kind of annoying. Volume 9, Daisy. Apparently, this one is actually really hard to find. It's not like super rare or anything, but it's actually this variant of Bisega that's the hardest to find. Which actually what I know I actually wanted the most, so it's just very cool. And volume 10, James Goes Buzz Buzz. Which this one, so sorry about this one is I got another one. I actually got one from a YouTuber who talks with YouTuber because that one was actually a first printed edition. This one is, but it wasn't in the best shape. But this one is actually it's actually the one I actually wanted, and it's also a condition upgrade as well. So basically, I'm getting the best of both worlds. But it also has the plastic on it. But what I will say is that not this release in particular, copy in particular, but of just buses, but this Daisy and Trust Thomas, I actually got from a YouTuber, Yamite, who, if you're not aware of her, she actually does Thomas VHS reviews. So I gotta the only thing is that I do have to pay her back for shipping. It actually took the only thing is that the package actually took a while, much longer than it should have to arrive. And then when I did arrive, I found out that I do have to pay her back for shipping, which I will pay her back for shipping. Well, regardless or not, do gotta give a shout out to her. I really appreciate the hookup, and if you have not seen her channel, please go check it out. Actually, at the time of this, she just did a video on my first Thomas VHS I picked out, Thomas the Special Writer. So definitely check it out. If you can, and check out her channel. I will link her channel in the description down below. So we got two more Thomas VHSs. We got Thomas and his friends get along, which I don't have. I never had this one on DVD, but that's perfectly fine because this one has a lot of really good episodes. Mostly, I think a little bit of James, but a couple of them are James. Then it's Percy. Then Thomas. Yeah, it's usually there's only like two Thomas Reed roles in the series, but so very cool. And this one's actually way more uncommon, so very happy to have this one. Unfortunately, this one does not include a song, which is very rare that it doesn't on DVD. I don't know what they were smoking, but we still gotta have this one. I am still looking. I am still looking for this one on DVD. So if anybody has one on DVD, let me know. And probably the most expensive Thomas VHS I now own. I was really excited to get this one. I actually had this on DVD, but never expected to find it on VHS. It's Songs from the Station, which is one of the more uncommon Thomas VHSs. The reason being is that this was actually one of the last ones to be released. This actually one of the hit era releases were some of the last Thomas VHSs to be released. With the last one being one of the hardest ones to find, being Tales from the Tracks. With Track Stars being another one that's very hard to find. Satellite the Season 7 races are not as hard to find as this one. This one like is really hard to find. Like I'm not want to say that I've never been able to run across this. Actually, now I think about it, I have never run across Stone Station VHS until now. I had it on DVD, but not VHS. So I was really excited to get this. I never ever run across it. That being said, it's definitely the weakest of the song bumpers there was releases because a lot of songs are not that great with the exception of a couple. Actually, exception of the last two. But super cool I got this and I am still looking for this on DVDs. If anybody has this on DVD, please let me know because I don't think they ever released this on they ever reprinted it. So that's all the Thomas VHSs, but I actually do have one more VHS for you guys, and this one's really uncommon. I do not know the story behind this particular VHS, but I got very very lucky. Someone actually had this for $60. I ended up getting it for 50, which yeah that could be way high or way lower for what this goes for, but I was still very excited to actually get this because I never ever run across it like ever. And the features I'm talking about is Alien, not Aliens or not Alien 3 or not Alien Resurrection, just Alien, the original film. But this is the reason why this is hard to find is because this is actually the original CBS Fox 1983 release, which is actually the first release of this movie in VHS. First home release of this movie, which is really cool. But yeah, I have never ever run across this, and it's actually the 1983 version because normally you see this in a slipcase. You do not run across it in this sleeve, and it obviously like starts out like that, which is really cool. But yeah, this is really hard to. This is not one that I've ever run across in a while, and it's actually my first one running across it. And I was like, I kind of want to get an uncommon VHS, so I'm actually glad I was able to get it. It did cost most of the money I had, but most of the money I had, but I was still really really happy to have found this. And the Cormier Comics, I gotta give a huge shout out to them. They actually have a couple more uncommon VHSs, which I'm unable to get at the moment. One of them I kind of want, some I don't want at the same time because it's made by the same people who made South Park, which I'm not a fan of. But other than that, but I kind of do want to get it, so hopefully I'll get it soon. So anyway, now let's move on to some actual video games. The next batch of games I like to show you guys, um, I will. You'll have to forgive me, for I have sinned, and by sinned I mean I actually am starting to collect PS5 games. I haven't sinned as much as on the Nintendo Switch 2, but still sinned. So, but now seriously though, these next games are all PS5 games. I actually am starting to collect PS5 games, and I'm gonna say it right now. I actually am enjoying collecting PS5. And it's just I'm having more fun collecting PS5 than I am PS4. Because the thing about PS4 is that there is a ton of shovelware. There's a ton of shit on the PS4, and by shit I mean actual shovelware. So PS4 doesn't have as much shovelware, but unfortunately it's but also the reason why I'm going after PS5 is because one, the games are so much better. I'm not saying from a graphics perspective, but there's not a lot of shovelware on the PS5 as there are on the PS4. But also there's actual good shit that came on. There's actually good shit from contests I care about on the PS5 that there are on PS4. But the only downside about the PS5 being in the controller, but I actually don't have the system yet. So I will have to get the system, but I will. It's not super expensive. It was super expensive, but it's not like crazy rare. So I will find it. But in the meanwhile, this is basically This is basically my PS5 collection like right now. But honestly, it's not that like that NES pick a video I got because I did because basically I did that was that entire pick video was just NES games. That's why I was like that. But this time I have more other stuff to show. But anyway, these are the PS5 games I got, and these are in order of price. We got Deathloop, which is actually a game that I heard looks very cool. I was like, you know what? It's only $12. Why not? Maybe I'll possess it. We got Scarlet Nexus, which I've not played this game. I actually want to play this game on PS4, never got around to it. So I do need to check this one out at some point. But yeah, really cool action RPG from what I heard. Yeah, it's a really cool action RPG. We got Wild Hearts. This game's kind of interesting. This one is actually made by Koei Tecmo, but it's actually published by EA. I try to not go after EA titles, because I actually really do not like the company. However, because this was made by Koei Tecmo, I was like, you know what? Why not? It's made by Koei Tecmo. EA just published it, but the Switch version was published by Koei Tecmo, so it is not made by EA. It's made by Koei Tecmo. And I just read it myself. That's okay. We also got Soul Hackers 2. This one I heard was not the greatest game out there, but of course it's an Atlas title. And actually with this one was actually interesting because I actually I actually got this from Raichu, but the one I got was when I got this it was not in the best of condition. So I ended up I actually ended up doing a restoration project on it, which actually took a little bit, but one of my housemates was able to help me with it, which was really cool. So yeah, I'm actually very happy with the result that it was in. Of course, this is in. Actually, we'll write this article. It's actually like really nice, but really cool. Really cool. Actually, not the best game, but actually game I do on trial at some point. But I have other games I'm gonna need to play first before I get around to this one. So this one will definitely be a while, but it will happen. I actually might play this first, commit to another game that I'll mention in a little bit, but we'll get to that. We got Sonic Superstars, which I got something to some PS4, but I just got I do not have this one. I got this from Game Guys. Honestly, it was very cheap, and I had the money for it, so I was like, you know what, might as well. But speaking of amazing games, two amazing games actually, of course made by Bandai Namco, and actually I'm gonna so I don't give it away. We got Pokemon World Repack, which we actually Pokemon World Repack 2 repack just came out 4 days ago, so I'm really looking forward to playing that. But I actually got this game in preparation for Pokemon World Repack, to Pokemon World 2 Repack. So really excited to play this one. I saw one play this. I was like, yes, this is a game I'm gonna play on PS5 at some point. It's actually one first game I got. And of course, I'll mention Bandai Namco. I talked about this game to death. I love this game so much. If you guys see my channel, you see my Instagram, you guys know I have talked about this game. So I don't need this game. This game does not need an introduction, and it sails over ice. I mean, what can I say about this game that I haven't mentioned? Amazing story, amazing, great combat, beautiful well written characters, beautiful world. Like it's just a beautiful game with a beautiful story. It is not only my favorite game I played in Beats in 2022, but probably my favorite game that came out this decade. I'm not even joking. Like this game, like people would ask me like what's the best game that came out this decade. I definitely would point into this game. This is a game. This is not only one of the greatest games I played in recent years, but probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. I'm not even joking. I had to do I had to do a review of this game before I left for college because I actually love this game so much. It did take me a couple months to beat it, but but when I finally beat it, it paid off because it is so good, and I was very happy to beat it. Sadly, I did not do the post game, but I don't even care. I was very happy to beat it, and I'm definitely gonna. I think this is a game over replay at some point, but it's that. But it did take me a couple months to beat it, so I kind of want to try other games first. It will be a while before I replay this, but when I definitely do, it's gonna be worth it. Actually, I might introduce a couple of my, I might have Justin with one of my housemates and replay it. Cause I might introduce it to him. Actually, no, it's okay. I might just find a copy for him. Cause this game, I kind of will want him to play this because this is so good. But I talked about it enough, so let's move on to the next few. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more games to show. And then for PS5, we got Monarch, which I'm gonna say this right now. I actually got both the PS5 and the PS4 version of the game. PS4 version I actually got from Game Guys, but the PS4 version I got from Raichu, Rachel Raichu, alongside Soul Hackers 2. Strangely, Raichu also had the PS5 version of Monarch, but it was a little bit higher price, which kind of sucks. This one's actually the stupid stickers cost me it not being the best of shit, but that is fine because well, it's actually the deluxe edition, but still quite got this. I mean, it's not gonna get my CR every day, so I had to get it. Of course, the game that started me going after PS5 games, we got Street Fighter 6. This is actually gonna be the first game I'm gonna play on PS5, but this is a game that really got me into collecting for PS5. So I'm actually very excited to play this, and this is a game I'm definitely gonna be popping in and playing with a friend. I actually got my Justin a copy as well. That's how you know I'm excited for this. It's your moment, your fight. And because the open world is beautiful, it's definitely not an easy game, but at the same time, it's really one I'm really looking forward to playing. It's and actually I'm actually playing a game by the Street Fighter this year, which will be very cool. Of course, and it was while I mentioned that Tales of Arise is my favorite game of the decade, but I have to pick a second game that would be my favorite game of the decade. I definitely would pick Goodbye World. Strangely, I actually played this on Switch, and also this came out the same year I actually played Tales of Arise, but I didn't play this till 2024. But anyway, I actually had this on Switch, and that's where I actually played it. But unfortunately, I did give it away to Eliza, uh, and I'm not gonna spend anything more than that. But I did give it away to her, and alongside my Switch Lite 8 and Mario RPG. But still, unfortunately, I'm not getting it back. So, very excited. I'm actually very excited to getting that copy back. So I'm actually really excited to get this one. Very excited to get this one back, especially on PS5. And yeah, it's like I'm actually really looking forward to playing this game again. Though I might save this game for 2026. Only because I did beat it last year, but also my rating might go down because I actually just found out that there was an offensive joke at the end. Well, specifically a joke that was offensive, but other than that, which I do need to do a little more research on. If I do find the joke, that might make my rating go down a bit. But it's still an amazing game regardless, so I don't think it will go down too much, but we'll see what happens. Okay, switching from beautiful to badass, we got Gungrave Gore. Funny enough, I'm actually very excited I found this because, believe it or not, the same day I picked this up, I found this. We got the announcement of Gungrave Gore Blood Heat, which is basically sort of like definitive remake of this game, and that's coming even though it is coming out for PS5. That one is more. It fixes the problems that this game had because I heard this game was not that great, but he will definitely fix the problems, a lot of the problems of this game that this original release had. So it's actually gonna be very cool. But I'm still glad to have this game. It's obviously one of the most badass games. Gungrave is an amazing is a very amazing and badass and stylish third person shooter. I try to stay away from third person shooters, but this game is super freaking badass. So I actually really want to play this. So very cool I got it. Of course we got Persona 3 Reload, another game that I'm really looking forward to playing. Story about how there's a story about how I got this. So I actually want to get this at Walmart, but unfortunately, I was able to ask my dad for more money, um, however, there's also something that happened at Walmart, which I'm not gonna explain the details. Um, but basically, I had to do a Walmart order to get some shipping materials for eBay because I could not wait sooner. I needed to get them like as soon as possible. I got them, but turns out shipping was like $10. There's a fee for shipping. Plus, but even more so, if your order was under $35, then there would be another fee, which is absolutely stupid. So what I ended up doing is I put this game in the cart so that I could get all my stuff as cheap as possible, the shipping materials and the game. So thankfully, something did happen but I'm glad this one did not go to waste. So I do need to get an open copy of this, but that will be for next time when I go to Walmart, where I always if I find a complete box copy, I'll get that one, and then also if it's in decent shape, I will sell this one. I'll probably check the condition and then because I do need to get an open copy, so I cannot play this until because I do not like opening my sealed games because you know how I am. I'm not a sealed collector. All right, we got three more games. We got River City Girl Zero. I actually was playing this on emulation because I actually really want to get a copy of. I actually really want to get a copy of this game. It's a Famicom, but I'm actually still glad to have this. This actually game that got me into the Kunio-kun franchise. Amazing game. Like the story is more darker than other Kunio-kun games, and it's just an overall great time. And the music is absolutely probably my favorite in the series. So unfortunately, Kunio-kun has not been the same since. I see about thinking about it. This was actually the last main line entry in the series for a very long time, and it was the last main line entry until at least until Tokyo Rumble came out on the 3DS. So this was definitely a great send off to the franchise before the franchise went on hiatus. So because the franchise was not because actually the franchise did go on hiatus, but there were some sports games, but it wasn't like the main line series had been completely dormant for 20 years. So really go but still amazing game. Glad this came to work with this, and fun fact, I actually just ordered River City Girls 1 on eBay today. So that one will be coming in the mail. You see that in the next pickup video. But and then we got two more PS5 games. A little bit more uncommon ones. We got one of the most hyped games on PS5 without question. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Amazing game from what I heard. And actually, I've not been able to look up footage of this, but I'm definitely looking forward to it because it has like one of the largest character rosters out there. So that alone is enough for me to have to get it. And it's a badass game, so I'm a game guy, so even I traded some stuff for it, but that's okay. We're excited to get it. And then we got Astro Gunvolt 3. And I'm actually this is actually last week's game I have to show, but this is actually a more uncommon one not one I see very often. And this one, um, it is complete. This one I actually got from off eBay. This is actually I got the game for $25 on eBay. This is actually this is a $45-50 game right now, which is absolutely insane. PS4 version is much more uncommon, but still very glad to get this. And now the final two games. But before I talk about recent events, but and I apologize, and I know this video is going on way too long than I thought. So I appreciate you guys sticking through all the way. I promise you these will be the last two games, but these two are great. Are the next two grails in my collection. So we got one PS1 game and one NES game complete in box. So and of course we got Kingsfield, which is an amazing game. I actually am playing this game right now. It is a great game, but very difficult. Like I'm not even joking when I say that this game is tough. Like, like it is so tough that like it actually is so tough that basically has it is if you die they take you all the way back to the beginning at level one, and you don't there's no game over. You have to freaking load your data from the beginning of the game, and it's absolutely annoying. But still, saving is crucial. And now that this game has a system similar to the mana, the system that you should Secret of Mana, where when this game powerful hits are essential if you wanna kill so many enemies. But still, I got this. Hopefully, I'll be able to. Hopefully, I'll be able to. Oh, I'm really tired. Hopefully, I'll be able to get Kingsfield 2 and of course the Intercity individual is actually this one's actually Kingsfield 2 because the first one we never got the first one, but still happy to have this. And the last game for today uh, is this one unfortunately is missing the manual, but I have not been able to order a manual for this one just yet, so I will need to track one down. But still happy I got this. I got this game from Mikey Camaro. Okay, Mikey Bodega on Instagram. So gotta give a huge shout out to him for hooking me up on this. I was really happy to get this, and that's Super Mario Bros., which is an amazing. Of course, I don't think this game needs an introduction. This is a game to save the video game industry. So, and I happen to get this just in time for Mario's 40th anniversary, which is really cool. So really excited to get this. And yep, that's gonna be it for this pick video. But I do. So before I actually end this video, I do want to talk about some recent events that have happened. Normally I don't. I usually end the video with just usual, but I want to explain what had happened, and it is unfortunate events. Past couple of weeks, we were hit with not one but two unfortunate realities. And even though one of them does involve gaming, the other one actually is more involving college. And since it happened in the same week, I feel like even though I normally would talk about one situation, the fact that I got affected by two of this events, I feel like I'm gonna do a video to dedicate both of them. But unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, actually a few weeks ago, we were hit with an unfortunate reality. My both in the college community and the gaming community. Shannon Matos, one of my friends, one of my best friends in college, and Billy from the Game Chasers have passed. As in they passed away. And it is honestly, it's just a huge shock. Like Billy, I didn't, I kind of thought, I had a feeling it was gonna happen, but no, at college, no one was expecting Shannon to go like this, and Billy as well. But it was Billy did update us about it. But either way, it doesn't matter. Both of them they're gone now. But I don't want to say a name like that, so I wanna take the last 5 minutes of this video to to say share my memories with them, with people, and say my goodbyes. So I will start with Shannon. Shannon was an amazing friend and someone who I loved just as much as I do with all my other friends. And while we never got to hang out outside of college, she was always there for me whenever I needed. Like she was like whenever something bad actually happened, she was always there to support me, and she was actually there when I was working when I started working for well it wasn't well yeah she was there when I started working for the college for work study. But when I started working for Empire Service Corps this year, which this is actually that's actually my current job. But when I started working for um, Empire Service Corps, she was like second in command. But then after she passed, I started taking over the roles. Well, I'm starting to work towards second in command. I haven't achieved that role yet, but I am still working towards it as I am doing checks at the moment. But she would always check on people to make sure and check with to make sure things are getting done. And she's just an amazing, amazing person, and I loved her so much as I do all my friends. Uh, and so now on to Billy. Billy, Billy, obviously, in case you not know, he was the person who was in charge of. He's the one. He alongside Jay from started um, the game hunting scene on YouTube. To which they have a show called The Game Chasers. And in case you don't know what it is, it's basically them looking for video games. But they did it. The way they did it was very unique. They did it in a more if you know like American Pickers, it's basically that but for video games. And they did it's actually even though it's actually so much it was actually so much better than American Pickers. And to be fair, I've always had I never got to interact with Billy a lot. Actually, I never got to meet him in person. But I have been a fan ever since actually a few years ago, 2021, when the movie was still in production. But I remember rewatching all their episodes. I actually rewatched all their episodes this year. I think it was this year, yeah, this year and also last year. Actually, last year was actually my first time watching the episodes on the TV. So basically, I got to share the memories of this show, but it's of watching the show, but this time doing it on the TV. Well, I never got to finish. I did, and I finished season one. Never got to finish season two on the TV, but I was still very happy with what I saw, and I even posted it on my stories. You know that, and and even though we never got to we did get season 9, but we never got to see episode 100. But it was for what we had and what we have. It's an amazing, amazing show, and he loved his fans so much, as he did to as he did with his work, and he's an amazing person, and I was at a loss of words when I found out he passed. So it definitely hit us hard. So but I think the final words I want to say is Shannon and Billy, thank you for all the memories. Is is as I had either in person or on social media. Thank you for always being there for me, and just even if I even if I never got a chance to interact in text only, but in person or YouTube, like just thank you for being the best people that you have always been. And I loved Shannon, I loved and Billy, I have loved you two so much. And Shannon, you were an amazing friend, and I will miss you so much. And Billy, you left a huge impact. You're the reason why I got back into video game collecting and into in the community, and you will be missed as well. So it's definitely been a very hard month, and very hard. That was a very hard week for a lot of us, but I definitely wanted to get the words out. I am aware about it, so that being said, I am definitely gonna end this pick up video here because I do need to get to bed. But I appreciate you guys sticking to the end of this video. It is a little sadder for me to have to talk about this, but I promise you guys that next time we film another pick video, we will go back to our normal schedule. Hopefully, if I can keep up with my college work and also work at my job, but we will go back to our normal schedule if things go well. But that being said, I'm Jaden My Messword. Keep my guys having a good time. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.